I want to share with you, a practical roadmap and way to think about doing this, because I know it's a lot, and a lot of you may be thinking about how do I get started. So use cases are the key to all of this. You need to think about business use cases for the finance function, and then you'll think about what technology will be needed to enable them, and what KPIs will you use to measure them. And so when you think about your roadmap, I suggest you put some use cases together for the next 12 months. What do we want to try to use and get started, and start to address some of the core issues in the next 12 months. Then you can start to think about your map in terms of 1 to 3 years. And then you can think 3 to 5 years. The 3 to 5 years, the ones in the green here, they oftentimes, a lot can happen in this with technology in 3 to 5 years. They're almost more inspiration. They're a way for you to communicate to your team in finance and to the rest of the enterprise that this is where we want to get to. This is our vision for how we're going to transform the finance function. Frankly, as you go along the journey, you will be adjusting these use cases, reprioritizing based on what's coming. You'll be changing this roadmap, but I think it's really important you start one place and show a vision and show the team how you're going to get there. Now, another way to look at the use case is to be thinking about, how do you build the foundation and then build on top of it, and then ultimately get to that idea of being that organization that helps to fuel the intelligent organization. So think about back to what I was showing about some of the challenges you may be facing. Probably first line of problem you're facing is really data integration. So the first line of use cases you may think about are, how do we just start to connect the finance function to the rest of the business? Once you get that under your belt, then you can start to say, well, how would we apply automation in order to start to scale this? And then ultimately, you can get to that final use case that says, how do we really build intelligence, right? How do we maybe do financial situation analysis for the company, scenario-based risk analysis? How do we do the performance modeling and optimization? I think our next data point probably goes without saying, but you're going to need to work more closely with IT in order to make this transformation of the finance function. According to our C-suite study, over a third of CFOs told us, look, that's on my agenda here for the year, is to get more involved with IT. My recommendation is that you start with developing that digital roadmap for how do you transform the finance function, and you don't just do it on your own. You do this, you socialize this with that digital dream team so that you can help them see what your vision is for how finance is going to help them in the future enterprise.